In high-tech fields like oil and gas, we've got more automation than ever before. More sensors, way more data, all kinds of safety controls. You'd think it would be foolproof, but it's not. Today we're diving into what's called the automation paradox. Yeah, those surprising risks that pop up when human judgment has to work with really complex machines. Let's get into it.
So right off the bat, here's the big mystery we're tackling. We have these drilling rigs that are just packed with technology, sensors, alarms, automated systems, all designed to stop problems before they start. And yet, things still go wrong. It turns out that sometimes the very tech that's supposed to help us can actually create brand new, totally unexpected challenges.
And that's really the heart of it, because at the end of the day, all this technology hasn't removed human responsibility. Nope, it's just changed it. It doesn't matter how many screens are flashing or how many alarms are going off, someone, a real person on that rig floor, has to look at all that info and make a call, usually under some pretty intense pressure. The final decision? It always comes back to the crew.
Now, when an incident does happen, the easy, kind of knee-jerk reaction is to blame human error. But you know what? That's almost never the full story. It's usually just scratching the surface. So for this first part of our investigation, we're going to dig a lot deeper than that simple explanation. Because what we label as a simple mistake is often just a symptom. It's the part you can see, but it's connected to a whole system of other factors that basically set the stage for that error to happen. So the real question isn't who messed up, but why that mistake actually made perfect sense to someone in that exact moment. So what are these deeper roots?
Well, just picture it. You've got a driller at the very end of a 12-hour night shift. They're exhausted. Maybe they're getting conflicting data from two different screens, or they're trying to make a split-second decision while alarms are blaring all around them. See, these aren't personal failings. They are systemic pressures that would make a mistake more likely for literally anyone in that situation. Okay, so the environment is a huge piece of the puzzle, but what about the tools themselves? Well, this brings us to what you might call the double-edged sword of automation, how the very systems designed to make things safer can sometimes create a whole new set of problems.
And this really shows us two classic traps that people can fall into. On one side, you have overtrust. If a system has been working perfectly for weeks, a crew might start to trust it blindly. That can cause a serious delay when a real problem finally hits. But on the flip side, you have undertrust. If a system keeps crying wolf with false alarms over and over, what happens? People start ignoring it. Both are completely logical human reactions, right? And both create huge risks.
So here's the really crucial point. The job itself has fundamentally changed. An operator's role has shifted from physically turning levers and adjusting equipment to, well, cognitively supervising a bank of screens. Their main job now is to watch data, spot trends, and try to decide if the machine is telling them the truth. It's a totally different kind of mental workload.
All right, so we've got a stressed-out human operator trying to work with incredibly complex automation. How do you actually make that situation safer? It turns out you need a whole new framework, a new way of thinking about risk.
First up, you have the human element. This is everything a person brings to the table that a machine just can't. We're talking about their years of experience, that gut feeling or feel for the well, and their unique ability to build a complete mental picture of everything that's happening at once.
Second, of course, is the machine. This is all the hardware and the software, the systems that are constantly gathering data, sounding alarms, and running automated controls. Its job is to do the relentless, high-speed monitoring that no human could ever hope to match.
And finally, you have the organization. This is kind of the whole world that the people and machines operate in. It includes everything from company policies and training programs to how teams communicate and, really, the overall safety culture. It basically sets the rules of the game for everyone and everything.
And when you put it all together, you get this, the Human Machine Organization Framework, or HMO. And what it shows us is that real, lasting safety isn't found in any one of these circles by itself. It's not just about having a skilled operator, or a perfect machine, or great policies. True safety lives in the overlap, in the constant interaction between all three.
So the whole goal here is alignment. You want all three parts working together. When you have a well-trained crew that understands the quirks of their automation and the organization backs them up with clear procedures and open communication, the entire system becomes incredibly strong. But when they start pulling in different directions, that's when gaps open up. And that's exactly where risk loves to creep in.
Okay, so this framework is great in theory, but what does it actually mean for the folks on the rig? How do we take this big idea and turn it into something useful? Let's get practical.
Here are 4 really concrete things you can do. First, just slow down. Before jumping to react to one alarm, take a breath and check it against other data points. Second, talk about the machine's personality. Every system has its quirks. Share them during shift handovers so the next crew knows what to expect. Third, supervisors have to build a culture where asking questions is seen as being diligent, not inexperienced. And finally, make sure your official procedures actually line up with how the work gets done in reality, because if they don't, people will always default to their own judgment.
And this all really leads us to our final takeaway. The true power of this way of thinking isn't just about a few new procedures, it's about a massive shift in how we look at safety and performance altogether.
The goal is to stop hunting for human error like it's the end of the story. Instead, we need to start seeing it as a valuable signal. An error is a symptom, and it's telling you that some part of your system, the human, the machine, or the organization, is under strain and needs to be looked at. It's a huge opportunity to learn and get better.
And that brings us to this really powerful idea. A truly safe, high-reliability operation isn't one that's just been lucky and hasn't had any accidents. It's one that is constantly, actively looking for even the tiniest signs of trouble, what the source material calls chronic vigilance. It treats every small anomaly as a lesson waiting to be learned.
So I'll leave you with this question, and it really doesn't matter what field you're in. What are the small, everyday frustrations or workarounds in your job? What are those near misses or the moments that just felt off? These aren't just little annoyances, they are weak signals, and they could be telling you a much, much bigger story about the health of your entire system. What are they telling you?